Very good morning class. Today we are going to discuss a diary which is written by a great young girl and a friend. So let's discuss this chapter. Let's start discussing the chapter. And a friend. This chapter is about little girl writing a diary. In a diary is starts from that writing in a diary is a really strange experience for someone like me. Not only because I've never written anything before, but also because it seems to be that later on me. Neither I nor anyone else will be interested in the musings of a 13-year-old school girl. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I feel like writing and I haven't even written need to get all something of my chest. Got it? So this girl says that I don't know okay, whether anyone is interested in the thought of a 13-year-old girl, young girl. But then also, I'll write in a letter. Sorry, I will write a diary to get all the things that on her chest. Paper has more patience than people. I thought of his saying one of those days when I was feeling a little depressed and was sitting at home with my chin in my hands, bored and listless, wondering whether to stay in or go out. I finally stayed where I was brooding. Yes, paper does have more patience, and since I'm not planning to let anyone else read this stiff backed notebook, grandly referred to as diary, unless I should ever find a real friend, it probably won't make a bit of difference. Here, this NF flag says that uh, people has more patience than people has more patience than people. So because of this, I started writing a diary. In that, the day was when she was feeling depressed, and he was sitting at home with his her chin on his hand, thinking about something situation was. At that time, she realized that paper has more patience, and at that time she didn't started writing a diary, but there was a thought of that. So now back to the point that prompted me to keep a diary in the first place. I don't have a friend. Let me put me clearly, since no one will believe that a 13-year-old girl is completely alone in the world, and I am not. I have loving parents and 16-year-old sister, and there are about 30 people I can call friends. I have a family, loving aunts, and good home. No, on the surface, I seem to have everything except my one good friend. All I think about when I'm with friends is having a good time. See here, this NF friend says that uh, I'm not alone. I have a lots of friends. I have my parents. I have 16-year-old sister and a lots of 13 people that I can call. Yes, I can call as a friend. But I not a single person in friend list is that I can share my feelings and thoughts to that person. Not there is a no there is a not a single person is there in my life that I can share my thoughts. So I found a friend that is diary. There in the diary I used to started writing something. And all I think about when I'm with friends is good time. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary everyday things. We don't seem to able to get closer, and that's a problem. It's my fault that we don't cooperate with each other. In any case, there's just how things are, and unfortunately, they are liable to change. This is why I started that diary. See, there is another problem. There was a conflict between her, and her friend that they didn't get too much close to each other. So because of all these reasons, she started writing. To enhance the image of this long-awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the fact in this diary the way most people would do, but I want the diary to be my friend, and I'm going to call his friend Kitty. She also gave her a name, Kitty, my friend. The diary is a Kitty. Got it? And, since no one would understand a word of my stories of Kitty if I were plunge writing, I'd better provide a brief sketch of my life much as I dislike doing so. See, as suppose someone accidentally got this diary and started reading, but he or she never understand the thought and the writing procedure of the NFN, because she used to talk with Kitty, and she started his briefly sketch of his life. My father, the most adorable father I have ever seen, didn't marry my mother until he was 36, and she was 25. My sister Margaret was born in Frankfurt in Germany 1926. I was born on 12 June 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. My father emigrated to Holland in 1932. My mother Edith Hollander, Frank, went with whom to Holland in September. See here, she describes her father and mother. Her father and mother got married when father was 36 and mother was 25, and she was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. Got it? So she was born on 12th May, June 1929 and emigrated in 1933. My mother Edith Hollander Frank went with him to Holland in September, while Margaret and I were sent to Echen to stay with our grandmother. Margaret went to Holland in December and I followed in February when I was flung down on the table as a birthday present for Margaret. I started right away at the Montessori nursery school. I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I was in the first form. In the sixth form, my teacher was Mrs. Calcas. See, she writes about the things that she was facing in day-to-day life. At first, she describes about her parents, her sister, and how she immigrated from one place to another place. And then she writes about his nursery education, primary education, where she was in stage 6, and who was her class teacher, the headmistress. At the end of the year, we were both in tears as we would say heartbreaking farewell. Grandma died in January 1942. No one knows how often I think of her and still love her. This birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make up for the other, and Grandma's candle was lighted along with her. And January 1942, Grandma died. So this is written in this portion. The four of us are still doing well, and that brings me to the present date of 20th June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my dead. Solemn dedication of my dead. The four of us are still doing well. See here, she, her sister, her mother, and father. Now, here the diary starts on 20th June 1942. Dearest Kitty, our entire class is walking with in its boots. The reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in the which the teachers decided to move to the next form and who will be kept bed. Half the class is making beds. Gian and I laugh ourselves silly at the two boys behind us. Cian and Jeffries, who have staked their entire holiday savings on their bed. From morning to the night, it's you are going to pass. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Even GS trading places. Here, this girl explains that this was the day where it was decided that which student is going to pass and which student is going to fail. Means which the students who is going to pass they'll get promoted in the next class, and the students who will fail they'll remain in the same class as it is. So both this girl, Gian and yes, she and a friend, she was discussing and they were discussing and they were laughing with about some guys also. And she said that you will pass, and Gian says to any friend that you will pass and you are going to pass. And she says, no, I'm not. Then it was, no, you are going to pass, you have done very well in this academic year. And if you ask me, there are so many dummies that about the quarter of the class should be kept back. But these are the most unpredictable features on earth. Here, any friend says that most of the students does not deserve to get promoted. But here, as a teacher are unpredictable, they move the students in the next class. Otherwise, they will decide by their own selves. Means the entire procedure is not based on marks. Sometimes it's based on their concept, the thinking of the teachers also. Suppose if he thinks that he should move, then he has to be pass. That evening, after I finished the rest of my work, the note about the essay caught my eye. I began thinking about the subject while chewing the tip of my fountain pen. Anyone could ramble on and leave big space between the words, but the trick was to come up with convincing arguments to prove the necessity of their talking. I thought, and suddenly I had an idea. I wrote 3 pages Mr. Kissing had assigned me, and I was satisfied. So, here this diary was started, and each and every person was writing. And she also thinks that she suddenly expressed, she starting expressing things in the diary, and she was thinking, and each and everything was, started writing, and she started writing in the diary. So this was the beginning, but that I would never. But that I would never be able to cure myself of the habit, since my mother talked as much as I did, if not more, and that there's not much you can do about the inherited traits. Mr. Kissing had a good laugh at my arguments, but when I proceeded to talk my way through the next lesson, he assigned me a second essay. This time it was supposed to be an incorrigible chatterbox. I handed it in, and Mr. Kissing had nothing to complain about for two whole lessons. However, during the third lesson, it finally had enough. Here he describes about this professor and how this professor treated this girl. She was also writing about Mr. Kissing. Mr. Kissing, you can see in the photo, Mr. Kissing, just a second. Mr. Kissing had a good laugh at my arguments, but when I proceeded to talk my way through the next lesson, he assigned me a second essay. This time it was supposed to be an incorrigible chatterbox. Mr. Kissing assigned him a second essay. I handed it in, and Mr. Kissing had nothing to complain about for two whole lessons. However, during the third lesson, we finally had enough. And a friend, a punishment for talking in class, I had an essay titled Quack, said Mr. Steppenwolf. He, uh, this Mr. Kissing assigned a essay to an friend because she was talking. And she started, the story was titled Quack, 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 said Mr. Chatterbox. It was the title. The class roared. I had to laugh too, for I nearly exhausted my ingenuity on the topic chatterboxes. It was time to come up with something else, something original. My friend Sene, who's good at poetry, offered to help me write the essay from beginning to end in verse, and I jumped for joy. Mr. Kissing was trying to play a joke on me with his ridiculous subject, but I made sure the joke was on him. Here, this NF here, Mr. Kissing also entitled some jokes on him, and she was not well about that. I finished my poem, and it was beautiful. It was about a mother duck and father swan with three baby ducklings who were beaten to death by the father because they were too much. Here, the essay was father bite his two kids, father duck bites his two kids, and there he co-op because of the death. Luckily, Mr. Kissing took the joke the right way. He read the poem to the class, adding his own comments and several other classes as well. Since then, I've been allowed to talk and haven't assigning any extra homework on the contrary. Mr. Kissing always was. And after that, not a single essay was assigned after. As this chapter was very simple to understand, now let's write down some of the meanings of this question. Here meanings we have missing, that music means thought, chin means threatening, jaw means someone's during speech, some notes during speech is jaw, solemn means sincere, antonyms strange means familiar, rumble, concise, patience, impatience, listless, lively, prompt, dear. Prompt means dear. Solemn, frivolous, adorable, hateful. Now, noun forms. Complete, completion, probable, probability, believe, belief, think, thought, brief, brevity, celebrate, celebration, intent, intention. Adorable, adore, operation, operate, verb forms. Chapter 1, chapter number 4 is over and then we will discuss next moment grammar section. Till then, goodbye.